no objection certificate to two new airlines just days after the Indigo cancellation crisis left over 9 lakh passengers stranded across the country. Aviation Minister Ram Mohan Naidu tweeted last night that 2 new airlines have been given the NOC, taking the total number to 3. But this is only the first step, and these proposed airlines have no aircraft and face a long road to take off. Madhya Mujawar is here to explain why. Madhya?
Well, 3 airlines getting new NOC. Let me clarify the aviation minister's recent tweet, because that has created the impression that multiple new airlines are set to enter Indian skies soon. But the reality on ground is far more complex. Getting a no objection certificate or NOC is just the first step and not a clearance to start flying. Let me explain what the minister's tweet really means and why launching an airline in India is extremely difficult. Over the last week, the minister says he met teams from Shank Air, Al Hind Air and Fly Express. And so far in 2024, 3 airlines have received NOCs. Kerala-based Air Kerala was the first one to get NOC in early 2024. Shank Air already has an NOC. Al Hind Air also had an NOC, but it registered as a separate entity for the airline and got a new NOC last week that the aviation minister was referring to in his tweet. Fly Express, based in South India, is the latest entrant to get an NOC. But an NOC does not mean that flights are imminent. These airlines are aiming, the airlines that got NOC in 2024 were aiming to start operations in mid-2025, but none has a confirmed launch timeline now. All 3 are still non-operational, and there's a reason for that. Paperwork alone doesn't get planes into the air. To actually launch operations, an airline needs aircraft and an air operator permit from the DGC. And this is where most startups are getting stuck. One startup promoter has told CNBC-TV18 today that they spent over 30 crore rupees already on offices and hiring key post holders, but they're struggling to get aircraft. Why? That's the key question, because lessors, the promoter told us, are demanding around 100 crores as security deposit and proof of 500 crore rupees in their bank as guarantees. So what these startups are expecting from the government is some backing so that the lessors become more confident about leasing aircraft to Indian Airlines. Now remember, during the Go First bankruptcy, lessors had a long legal battle with banks and other stakeholders as no one was releasing the aircraft due to pending dues by the airline. So that explains why leasing to Indian Airlines becomes risky for them. So while the government's intent to encourage more airlines is clear, and India doesn't have a shortage of aspiring airlines, it has a shortage of aircraft access, capital and lessor confidence. So until those challenges are addressed, an NOC remains just a document and not a takeoff clearance.
All right, Madhya, thank you for clarifying what it means to start a new airline in India. But with that, it is a wrap on this edition of Business 360. More news and updates coming up on the other side. Stay tuned.